You're on.
Hi guys. I am here with part 6 of the Book of Job for us. Chapters 20, 21, 22 today. Not feeling very good again today. Very nauseous. I've already took my stomach medicine, my nausea medicine, and Pepto. Hoping I don't get sick again today. We had to have some more Pepto once I'm done with this. I have a little more right now. Don't mind. Take a little bit before we get started. It just hits me all of a sudden. It's been like this for days. Some days my stomach flares will go on for days, other times for 1 day, sometimes for... I gotta make sure I have Pepto all the time. My stomach medicine through.
Need to get some more of that.
You know, I always get a 2-pack and it's $10. Sorry, I hold my nose because it makes me sick. I already feel sick. Store stomach medicine real quick. How are you guys doing today? Here in Ohio, my mom lives probably... How far is Mom from us? Maybe half hour, if that far. Anyway, she said it was raining there and it was supposed to storm, but we haven't got anything. I guess it was storm warning, but I guess it was storming early this morning. Time Warner last night was off. It went off. I was watching TV and working on some stuff. I had the TV on and I was on the computer, plus I was working on something as well. Uploading a video, plus I was doing some paperwork. And then everything just stopped working. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was just us, but it was just like, after a while I called Time Warner Spectrum. And they said it was a big outage in our area, a big one, as they said. And what time it was. I think it was around like 9 o'clock last night, 9 p.m. Anyway, it didn't come back on. It was a TV, phone, and internet, which really is crappy when you got your phone service through them too, because when it goes out, you don't have a phone either, so you're really blessed if you got a cell phone, so you can call and report it and, you know, be able to use a phone. But anyway, it didn't come back on until 1 or 2 a.m. Well, the TV, the phone and internet came on a little before that, but then the TV came on around 2 a.m. I think, 2 or 3 a.m. something like that. So I didn't get the video uploaded so really late last night or early this morning. Hopefully that won't happen again this time. So let's get started. Okay, so far, if I said that name right, Knowing me, I probably didn't. Then Zophar the Naamite replied to Job, "My troubled thoughts prompt me to answer because I am greatly disturbed. I hear a rebuke that dishonors me, and my understanding inspires me to reply. Surely you know how it has been from of old, ever since mankind was placed on the earth, that the mirth of the wicked is brief. The joy of the godless lasts but a moment, though the pride of the godless person reaches to the heavens, and his head touches the clouds. He will perish forever like his own dung. Those who have seen him will say, 'Where is he?' Like a dream he flies away, no more to be found, vanished like a vision of the night. The eye that saw him will not see him again. His place will look on him no more. His children must make amends to the poor. His own hands must give back his wealth. The youthful vigor that fills his bones will lie with him in the dust. Though evil is sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he cannot bear to let it go, and lets it linger in his mouth, yet his food will turn sour in his stomach. It will become the venom of the serpents within him. He will spit out the riches he swallowed. God will make his stomach vomit them up. He will suck the poison of serpents. The fangs of an adder will kill him. He will not enjoy the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and cream. What he toiled for he must give back uneaten. He will not enjoy the profit from his trading, for he has oppressed the poor and left them destitute. He has seized houses he did not build. Surely he will have no respite from his craving. He cannot save himself by his treasure. Nothing is left for him to devour. His prosperity will not endure. In the midst of his plenty, distress will overtake him. The full force of misery will come upon him. When he has filled his belly, God will vent his burning anger against him and rain down his blows on him. Though he flees from an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow pierces him. He pulls it out of his back, the gleaming point out of his liver. Terrors will come over him. Total darkness lies in wait for his treasures. A fire unfanned will consume him and devour what is left in his tent. The heavens will expose his guilt. The earth will rise up against him. A flood will carry off his house. Rushing waters on the day of God's wrath. Such is the fate God allots the wicked, the heritage appointed for them by God." Then Job replied, "Listen carefully to my words. Let this be the consolation you give me. Bear with me while I speak, and after I have spoken, mock on. Is my complaint directed to a human being? Why should I not be impatient? Look at me and be appalled. Clap your hand over your mouth. When I think about this, I am terrified. Trembling seizes my body. Why do the wicked live on, growing old and increasing in power? They see their children established around them, their offspring before their eyes. Their homes are safe and free from fear. The rod of God is not on them. Their bulls never fail to breed. Their cows calf and do not miscarry. They send forth their children as a flock. Their little ones dance about. They sing to the music of the timbrel and lyre. They make merry to the sound of the pipe. They spend their years in prosperity and go down to the grave in peace. Yet they say to God, 'Leave us alone. We have no desire to know your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve him? What would we gain by praying to him?' But their prosperity is not in their own hands. So I stand aloft from the plans of the wicked. Yet how often is the lamp of the wicked snuffed out? How often does calamity come upon them, the fate God allots in his anger? How often are they like straw before the wind, like chaff swept away by a gall? It is said, God stores up the punishment of the wicked for their children. Let him repay the wicked so that they themselves will experience it. Let their own eyes see their destruction. Let them drink the cup of the wrath of the Almighty, for what they care about, the families they leave behind, when their allotted months come to an end. Can anyone teach knowledge to God, since he judges even the highest? One person dies in full vigor, completely secure and at ease, well nourished in body, bones rich with marrow. Another dies in bitterness of soul, never having enjoyed anything good. Side by side they lie in the dust, and worms cover them both. I know full well what you are thinking, the schemes by which you would wrong me. You say, where now is the house of the great, the tents where the wicked lived? Have you never questioned those who travel? Have you paid no regard to their accounts, that the wicked are spared from the day of calamity, that they are delivered from a day of wrath? Who denounces their conduct to their face? Who repays them for what they have done? They are carried to the grave, and watch is kept over their tombs. The soil in the valley is sweet to them. Everyone follows after them, and a countless throng goes before them. So how can you console me with your nonsense? Nothing is left of your answers but falsehood. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, Can a man be of benefit to God? Can even a wise person benefit him? What pleasure would it give the Almighty if you were righteous? What would he gain if your ways were blameless? Is it for your pity that he rebukes you and brings charges against you? Is not your wickedness great? Are not your sins endless? You demanded security from your relatives for no reason. You stripped people of their clothing, leaving them naked. You gave no water to the weary, and you withheld food from the hungry. Though you were a powerful man, owning land, an honored man living on it. And you sent widows away empty-handed, and broke the strength of the fatherless. That is why snares are all around you, why sudden peril terrifies you, why it is so dark you cannot see, and why a flood of water covers you. Is not God in the heights of heaven? And see how lofty are the highest stars. Yet you say, what does God know? Does he judge through such darkness? Thick clouds veil him, so he does not see us, as he goes about in the vaulted heavens. Will you keep to an old path that the wicked have trod? They were carried off before their time, their foundations washed away by a flood. They said to God, leave us alone. What can the Almighty do for us? Yet it was he who filled their houses with good things. So I can stand aloft from the plans of the wicked. The righteous see their ruin and rejoice. The innocent mock them, saying, surely our foes are destroyed, and fire devours their wealth. Submit to God and be at peace with him. In this way prosperity will come to you. Accept instruction from his mouth, and lay up his words in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored. If you remove wickedness far from your tent, and assign your nuggets to the dust, your gold of Ophir to the rocks and the ravenous, then the Almighty will be your gold, the choicest silver for you. Surely then you will find delight in the Almighty, and will lift up your face to God. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows. What you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. When people are brought low, and you say, lift them up, then he will save the downcast. He will deliver even one who is not innocent, who will be delivered through the cleanliness of your hands. Okay, guys, and that is where we're going to stop today with the book of Job. That was part 6 for us. That was stopping at chapter 22, ending chapter 22. So God willing, we'll come back tomorrow, starting with chapter 23 of Job, which will be our part 7. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.